All right, how's it going, everyone? Today, I got a full upper body workout that I'm doing on my new training split. Just switch up my training split. I had been doing push pull legs rest, push pull legs rest for the past around about 2.5 years. Recently switched to upper lower sharms, just to help manage recovery, time, and keep a consistent split, making sure I'm doing 5 workouts a week and I'm hitting them on all the same days. Been really loving this new split, been really loving this new upper body day that I'm running right now, and I hope you all like it. All right, starting off the upper body day with some weighted pull-ups. I absolutely love weighted pull-ups. Probably my favorite upper body movement, maybe my favorite movement in the gym in general. I like really pushing these heavy, doing them as a compound lift in about the 5 to 7 rep range. As you can see, maybe went a little bit too heavy this day. Range of motion isn't the best. And then I also like to do one set of max body weight pull-ups as a drop set on my last set of pull-ups. Really help burn out the back and make sure just all the musculature of the back is absolutely fried after finishing up my first movement. After that, I like to move into some heavy dumbbell pressing and go over to working on the chest. Today, that was a heavy dumbbell incline press. I really like this movement as I'm able to get a super deep range of motion, and I like to standardize my range of motion by tapping the dumbbells to my chest at the bottom of each rep and tapping the dumbbells together and locking them out at the top of each rep. Absolutely goated movement with this, and I absolutely love doing these. Probably my all-time favorite chest builder. In addition to that, in between sets of dumbbell press, I like to superset with some mobility, working on some of my hip mobility here. In between sets, I move the bench down to a small incline and really focus on moving around in this position and building up some flexibility in those hips. After that, I go back to back. I focus on a mid back and upper back row here by keeping a wider elbow path since the pull ups are mainly lat focused. I absolutely have been loving these Mega Mass machines. This one is probably the best machine I've ever used for my upper back. I can't get enough of it. Make sure to strap up on these and go really heavy. And also finish off every back movement that is chest supported with some Kelso shrugs. Really easy way to get in some extra back volume for pretty much no extra nervous system fatigue and just absolutely lets me hammer the upper back. After that, I go back to chest. Since I've already done a pressing movement, the other function of your chest is adduction of the arms in the transverse plane, aka a pec deck. Just means bringing your hands close together. I absolutely love the pec deck here, focusing on a big stretch and a big squeeze at the top, really controlling the way down too. Make sure to control the weight as I'm getting such a deep range of motion. Making sure to control that on the way down is really going to help prevent injuries. After that, I will then move on to a shoulder superset. I've been really focusing on getting a bigger dumbbell press from a seated position. This has always been a weak point for me, and really focusing on this over the past couple of weeks has helped really develop some good pressing strength, not only in my shoulders, but is also carried over into my bench press. After that, I superset those with some lateral raises here from a seated position. I like to spam lateral raises. I do them 3 times a week, really trying to build some cap delts. As you can see here, I try to standardize the range of motion by keeping my head, shoulders, and butt back against the bench. This will really limit the weight you can use, but allows you to get an absolutely crazy contraction in your side delts and allows me to not feel this so much in my traps. Then to finish off the workout, I do an arm superset, starting with some single arm tricep extensions. I really love the single arm variation as opposed to the traditional double arm tricep pushdown. This allows me to pull back the weight a bit and really focus on the contraction and feel a good squeeze in my tricep. And I also think it's good to address my unilateral strength as opposed to always addressing bilateral just for injury prevention. After that, I finish off my arm superset with some standing bicep curls, one of my all-time favorite bicep builders. Really easy to progressively overload over time. And I also try to flex my triceps at the bottom of this movement to standardize the range of motion and get a good stretch on the bicep, or as good as you can from this movement, while just focusing on squeezing the weight up and minimizing the swinging. Although I do cheat towards the end of some of my reps just to get some extra bicep volume in. After that, I finish off the workout with some posing. I've been really loving switching over to an upper lower Charm split as opposed to the traditional push pull legs. It not only allows me to manage recovery better, but also I feel like I can put more intent into each workout because I know that I'm doing fewer movements. Therefore, I have to push them harder to try to get the same results out of them. If you're looking to change your split, I highly recommend switching to this as I've been absolutely loving it. All right, welcome back. So I wanted to take this portion of the video to discuss how I break up my training throughout the week, how I structure that not only around my work schedule, responsibilities, social life, everything else that comes up as a college student off on summer break, but also why I do the training split I do and what I do for my training split. So I actually wrote down some notes for this as well to keep it more organized. So Monday is when my week of training starts. I start off my Monday with an upper body lift and 30 minutes of cardio. So for me, what that looks like is I work on Monday from 8 to 3. So I like to structure my training around work. I think that's a really good way to do it. So you only end up making one trip out. So for me, I wake up at 6. I make it to the gym by around 7 or make it to the trail because for my cardio that day, I like to do, normally it's going to be a run about 3 to 4 miles, and then I can shower after at the gym before heading off to work. I then go to work. I work at a PT clinic. If you didn't know, I'm an exercise science student. Absolutely love it there. Then after work, I go into that upper body lift, and for that day, it's a back focus. So my first lift and my first compound is a way to pull up, like you saw in this video. After that, Tuesday, I have a class, so I'm able to fit more work into that day because my lab's only 4.5 hours. I'm not working as much. So for Tuesdays, I start off, wake up at 6 a.m. every day. I'm able to go to the gym before my lab starts at 9:30. That's a lower body lift with a quad focus, so I'm really focusing on pushing my squat heavy that day. And then after my class is finished, normally around 1:30, I then go either to the gym or home and just do some low impact steady state cardio. At the gym, that's typically the elliptical or the treadmill on a low incline. And then at home, it's just walking around the neighborhood, listening to some podcasts, or listening to my thoughts, trying to think of content ideas. Wednesday is then my first rest day of the week. That is an active rest day, though. It's not like I'm not doing anything. I generally on Wednesdays will do about an hour total of low impact steady state cardio. I work again on Wednesday from 8 to 3. So for me, I'll either go to the gym in the morning and do a run, so like 3 miles, about 30 minutes, same deal. Or if I'm having a particularly rough week or whatnot, that could also be a incline walk or an elliptical, something that helps keep those joints nice and healthy going into the later part of the week, starting on Thursday. Thursday's another upper body lift. Bench focus that day. It's going to be our first lift, pushing that heavy. On the road to 315, hoping to hit it in, I don't know, T-minus 6 months maybe. Fingers crossed. And then I do a 30-minute low impact steady state cardio on that day as well. Normally that's going to be a walk because I most likely have ran the day before. Friday then, I have a leg day, posterior chain focus, really trying to bring my posterior chain this summer and get more athletic. So that day I'm doing some single leg RDLs in the gym and some heavy Smith machine split squats. Love them and hate them. Great movement, but also so mentally difficult to get through. Friday I also do 30 minutes of cardio, which is typically going to be on a treadmill. I try not to run on days I hit legs, just to control the volume of my joints. I've had some overuse injuries, and that has really helped me manage those. After that, Saturday is my last day in the gym. I do a Sharms day, trying to bring up the shoulders and arms this summer. So that's a really fun lift. Normally under an hour, just banging out some shoulders and arms. Volume, and then I'm either going to do some cardio that day, whether it's like a 30-minute walk around the neighborhood, 30 minutes on the treadmill, whatnot. But I also like to play basketball, so the later part of my week is very flexible to either play basketball with my friends or even do anything else, maybe go on a hike, stuff like that. Pretty much just trying to get out in nature and whatnot. And then Sunday is a complete rest day for me. As always, I'm probably going to do some cardio walk. Don't really include that in my training, but Sunday is a day to reset and for me to get ready for the next week. In addition to that, pretty much every day I do about 15 to 25 minutes of physical therapy exercises. Since I work at a physical therapy clinic, it's really easy to do these during my lunch break during the day. I get about an hour unpaid lunch, so part of that's spent doing physical therapy, part of it's spent eating. And those have really helped me stay healthy and address some nagging injuries this summer that I didn't really have time to address during the school year whenever I was going really hard at a ton of different things. So that's really important. If you can, try not to skip those. Everybody has 15-30 minutes in the day. Whenever I'm not working, I try to do those when I'm watching TV at night with my parents or whenever else, just trying to stay as consistent as I can. And that is how I structure my training. Some practical tips I will give to try to fit in a lot of training. I mean, I end up training about an hour and a half to 2 hours some days, so it's not necessarily the easiest thing to fit in. Is one, make it a priority. So I know from the day before when I'm going to do my training sessions and how I'm going to incorporate those with my work schedule. Like I said, also try to structure them around the activity you know you're going to be doing that day. I try to only make one trip out of my house, so if that means structuring a run before work and a lift after, that's what I'm going to do. Or even, it's sometimes that's not possible, do them back to back. It can take a while to build up to that, but that is another way to get them done. And 3, be flexible. You're going to miss training days. That's okay. You're also going to have social engagements that are more important than being 100% adherent to your training, especially if you're not a professional athlete, and I'm not. So make sure that your schedule is flexible enough to where you can move around training sessions if you need to. Like I was saying with my cardio, it can really depend on the day and how my joints are feeling, and that has been really helpful to me, keeping myself healthier and also making sure that I enjoy it more. I'm not prepping for anything specific right now, so it can also be more flexible. So those are 3 ways that I structure some of that training. Hope you all found this helpful. Hope you enjoy the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Also send me a DM, emails in the description for training and training programs. Alright, appreciate y'all watching. Peace and love.